Well, hello, how are you? I hope you're good. Welcome to Recent Reads, the show in which Erica talks about all the books that she read recently, or the books that I read last year because I fail and can't keep up with the books that I read. But that's fine. It's fine. Today might be a short recent reads only because the books here, at least most of the books here, I read during Booktubeathon, so I kind of already talked about them during vlogs and during the wrap-up, so if I don't have much to say, that's why. But I mean, I don't know, we'll see. I don't know what I'm going to say about these books, but let's just get started. The first book that I'm going to talk about is The Wave: In Pursuit of the Rogues, Freaks, and Giants of the Ocean by Susan Casey, a non-fiction book about waves. For starters, I just want to say my #1 fear in life is and has always been tsunamis. So like, why the hell would you read this, Erica? As if I know. I think I like to tell myself it's good to read about what you fear because the more you know, maybe with the understanding you become less fearful. But that didn't really work with this, so fail. This is a nonfiction book, like I said, about waves, rogue waves, all waves, or so I thought, when actually in this book instead we follow a lot of well-known huge surfers and their connection with giant waves. So wasn't expecting that, which left me a bit disappointed because I wanted to know the science behind waves. I wanted to know about waves that happen in shallow water, waves that happen in deep water. I wanted to know about waves caused by earthquakes and landslides. And I mean, she talks a little bit about landslides. She talked about the Latoya Bay event, which I feel a lot of people already know about Latoya Bay. But if you don't know about that, in 1958 in Alaska, in Latoya Bay, there was an earthquake that caused a huge landslide that fell into the bay, which caused a giant mega wave that just tore up the entire mountainside. There's a documentary on it and it's really, really interesting. I would check that out if that sounds fascinating to you at all. I wanted to read so much more of that, but instead we end up following surfers as they follow giant waves. And it's not a bad thing, it was entertaining, but I mean, it's just alright. That's one thing I will never understand though. Regular surfing, fine, it's fun. But then you get into big wave surfing and Mavericks is about 2 hours up from where I live, and annually surfers go out there to surf these giant, terrifying waves. I mean, it's a sight to see, it's beautiful, but it's terrifying, and I don't get it. Why do people do that? It's so crazy. I just got way off topic, I apologize. But yeah, this book, it's alright, but it's nothing special. If you're interested in surfing, then this could be something you would really like. And now we're moving on to books that I read during the Booktubeathon, so I probably won't talk about these books for too long. First up, I have Amid Stars and Darkness by Chani, Lynn, Feener. This was sent to me unsolicited by Swoon Reads, and though I appreciate that they sent me a copy, this book was no. This book was a no. This is a science fiction young adult romance set in space. We follow this girl and she ends up caught up in this alien charade. It's ridiculous and it's not good, guys. It's not good. The writing is poor, the characters are poor, everything about this is poor. It's an entertaining read, I will say that, but that does not save this book. It's still bad. Honestly, every cliche that you hate in young adult, you'll probably find that in here. So, you know, I don't recommend this book at all. The only thing going for this book is that it has a really gorgeous cover. Even I have to admit, I'm drawn to anything that's galaxy-esque. Though there is a girl on the cover in a dress, and honestly, with young adult books, whenever there is a girl with a dress on a cover, is the book ever actually good? Is it? Probably not. That's just what I've noticed. Moving on. Next up, I have The Importance of Being Earnest by Oscar Wilde. Now, if you haven't read this, please do yourself a favor right now. Go pick up a copy of this because it's so funny. So funny. This is a play, this is a comedy, and it's about so many things. I don't even know where it's a mistaken identity, lies, truth, vanity, selfishness, high society, so many things. It's a lot, but it's so great. The story is about Earnest, though Earnest is not real. He's merely the creation of two men, John and Algernon, who in the web of their lies use Earnest as a means to impress high society women who also love the name Earnest. It's kind of ridiculous. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's pretty funny. Anyone that loves a good satire that just pokes at society will love this. My conclusion after reading this is that I need to read more Oscar Wilde, since I've only read this and The Picture of Dorian Gray, which also, if you haven't read The Picture of Dorian Gray, it's amazing, so read it. And yeah. And then I read The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories by Tim Burton. This is a collection of Tim Burton poetry. A lot of people don't know that Tim Burton has a collection of poetry, but here it is. There are really, really cool illustrations that my lighting does not allow you to see because it sucks. All the poems in this collection are dark and humorous, and it's kind of funny because though these poems are presented and written in a way that you would think would be suitable for children, they're not. The underlying themes and messages are so twisted and dark that it's not appropriate. It's not appropriate for children, so don't let little kids read this. Just be wary. The poems in here are weird. They'll make you laugh, they'll make you sad, they'll make you uncomfortable. They're so far out there and yet they feel so real and raw. It's really great how he's able to pull that off. I really enjoyed this, though I'm not sure it's for everyone. If you're a fan of Tim Burton and you haven't read this, you definitely need to check this out because, like I said, if you love Tim Burton, this is just so Tim Burton, and it has his illustrations, which just alone, you need to pick this up for that if you enjoy Tim Burton, like I said. My favorite poem from here is Robot Boy, which I already read previously in a different video, so I'll read a really short one for you because why not? This one is called Melonhead, and I'll try to put images of it for you if I can find them. There once was a morose melonhead who sat there all day and wished he were dead, but you should be careful about the things that you wish, because the last thing he heard was a deafening squish. Yep. And the last book I'm going to quickly talk about today is Starship Troopers by Robert A. Heinlein. This is a science fiction classic that I had been meaning to read for years, mainly because the film is a guilty pleasure film, basically, for me. So that being said, I went into this book expecting giant alien bugs. You have no idea how excited I was to read about giant alien bugs. But sadly, book and film are 99.9% completely different. And it really, really hindered the reading experience for me. And I'm not saying that this is a bad book. It's not a bad book, it's just I don't think that this was for me. This book mainly focuses on military service, day-to-day military training. It's very in-depth and it's very realistic, but it's so boring. And at times it kind of felt a bit preachy. Just a bit. So overall, at the end of the day, I found this to be quite dull. But if reading about military life is something that you're into, this could be for you, possibly, but not for me, because all I wanted was giant alien bugs, and I didn't get giant alien bugs, and I'm sad. And that's about it. Those are all the books that I have to talk about for today. Have you read any of these books? Do you have any thoughts or opinions? I would love to chat with you in the comments below, so leave a comment if you want. I hope you guys have a great day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in another video soon. Bye.